If you don't want to see me, you must close your eyes. Ready the best. If you don't want to see me, you must close your eyes. But say, oh mama, enemies of progress. They don't want to see you shine. See you shine, mama. Right, check out my mouth. Yeah. Right. You know I love that style where you got days. So won't you back it up on me? I love the way you're whining and pop waist. Don't tease it and making me on it. So smooth when you move to the groove in the truth, baby. Back it up on me. Yeah, I love the style where you got days. So won't you back it up on me? Right. This a girl a wine in a time. I move around like she don't have no spine. The next thing, don't she find? She have the rest of them a wait in a line. Oh gosh, champagne a pop and we so fast. Weed in a split, no allow that. Girl, back it up, make me hold that. This girl's on a level right now. I match to the bass and the treble right now. Wine for the real, let my crown. Bedroom rolling up and now back down. Fast, fast, slow, slow. Anywhere you want, baby girl, go. Bounce up and down like a pro. Go, girl, you want it, they know. Yo, real from the scene. Heavy movement. You and your team. Yeah, them can't intervene. Right. You know I love that style where you got this. So won't you back it up on me? I love the way you whine and your pop waist. Don't tease till it making me alright. So smooth when you move to the groove in the truth, baby. Back it up on me. Yeah, I love that style where you got this. So won't you back it up on me?
Back it up on me, telling me that you want me, baby girl, if you loving tonight.
Right.
Baby, I'm in town, know that it's going down. You know that I'm only here for one night. You know what he won't do, really won't do. You know why I pray for that thing upon you. Looking at you, looking like you really want to. There's nothing on this earth, baby girl, I won't do. Girl, cause we turning up. Shots on deck, cause we burning up. Take you back to the telly, throw it up. Take you back to the telly, throw it up, girl, throw it up. Oh, yeah. Looking at your friends like you don't care. Girl, cause the Grey Goose is in here. Oh, yeah, we in here.
You know I let it style where you got this. So won't you back it up on me? I love the way you whine in your pop waist. Don't tease till it making me honest. So smooth when you move to the groove in the truth, baby. Back it up on me. Yeah, I love the style where you got this. So won't you back it up on me?
Tant les day, our initiative par Banade, and they play par Banade, and they play with me, Banade. Man, you get it, real, but she get it, me. You get it, you, but he get it, ma. True love that says I eat it. Man, you happy, say your pen together. You not catching cheating, Grabby a share on me. When I boss it, they drop on me. He say ray on me. When I hear say they drop on me. Hot time play on me. To start day ray on me. Red on the dancer, everywhere they dancer. They December Brabiki in May, then he left in June. Then she called a member November, say she 2 months pregnant. Then you see how she do. When I share, same wave can drop on. Or let her come in, then she had it. He got a ray on.
Wally Waller day, you say how if you want party to carry. If you don't do abortion by now, they will celebrate your child 4-year-old birthday party. Scrap left, shit on me. Everywhere I go, yeah, on me. The whole country says shit.
The whole country now on double speed. Capital politicians see
Anchewe, Wale Anchewe, Wanyamwe Anchewe, Wabwe Anchewe, Anchewe, Wale Anchewe, Wanyamwe Anchewe, Wabwe Anchewe, Nekubekai, Menyekai, Ubembewa Manakai, Nanchekai, Namanu Wonawe, Wonawe, Namanu Wonawe.
I've been waiting too long for the car business under the hustle.
Wow, you get wow. You hear about the app in Liberia called Minida right here?
Minida, what Minida got to do anything?
Minida is a ride-sharing app in Liberia that making transportation so easy. You can download the Minida app on your phone and be able to request bike, taxi, keke, big bus, small bus all around Liberia. And the good thing about it, every time you open Minida app, Minida will always provide you your pickup address. All you have to enter is your destination address. Destination address simply means where you are going.
So I need internet service?
Yeah, you get it. Of course, you need internet service. You have to be able to use your internet service and download Google Maps first. Secondly, you have to go into your phone settings and turn on your location. And then you download Minida app and begin to request ride all across Liberia. We're all fighting for a car and we're all standing long time on the road.
So how do I connect to drivers?
You get it very easy. The drivers will also sign up and follow the same instruction I'm telling you now. They would be able to turn on the location in the phone settings and download Google Maps and download Minida driver app. And then the moment you make a request, the driver will be able to receive your ride request. And another good thing is your family members and your friends from all around the world can be able to request ride for you in Liberia. You get.
So how do I pay?
You get. All you can pay with is your bank card, and you can pay with Lone Star or Orange Mobile Money.
Is that easy?
Yeah, that's how easy it is. You get.
So Minida transportation made easy. Oh, thank you, my brother. Let me go download my app, yeah. Transportation made easy, oh.
For more information on how to download Minida app and use Minida app, you could go over to YouTube and search Minida Liberia.
Do you know that maintaining clean and sufficient amount of oil is the perfect solution to preventing too much friction and overheating of your car engine? Remember that dyed particles are deadly to your engines. So too is the use of the wrong kind of oil. Stop using recycled oil products on the market. Sonoco Premium Super Fleet Engine Oil is now in Liberia. The Premium SAE 50, Premium 15W40 for both gasoline and diesel engines. Once there is an engine, Sonoco has the lubricant. You can now change your engine oil after every 3 to 4 months. Since 1886, Sonoco Oil Company is supplying oil to over 85 different countries around the world. With Sonoco products, there is no more damage to your engines. Macintosh Incorporated, a Liberian company located on Weaver Street, AB Talbot Road in Painesville, is the sole importer and country distributor of Sonoco and other U.S. lubricant brands. Call cell numbers 0880-535-508, 0777-677-633. That's your quality assurance.
Richard, why are you looking so down?
I just broke up with a long-term partner, newly single and looking to meet somebody new.
LiberiansConnect.net connects single Liberians in the diaspora and Liberians in Liberia for love, friendship, dating, and marriage. LiberiansConnect.net is a membership-only website. You will not only connect with single Liberians, but also with singles of other nationalities who want to date Liberians. A private link will be emailed or WhatsApp to you, where you can download the app to use on your smartphone for easier access. Take advantage of the promotional membership package from now until December 31st, 2022. The platform is free. Membership fees renew at only $5 a month beginning January 1st, 2023. LiberiansConnect.net, private, affordable, secure, connecting single Liberians home and abroad.
LiberiansConnect.net, exclusively Liberian.
Hello, my name is Winfred Russell, and I'm running for mayor of Brooklyn Park. With my vision of one Brooklyn Park, I will continue to drive to build a city that works for every resident. It is essential to safeguard our community in ways that reflect the wants and needs of all. Brooklyn Park must be guided by its residents, business leaders, and other stakeholders who invest in its success. I want more community input to help inform critical decisions, such as how the city should approach public safety, affordable housing, public health, and economic development. My goal in the next 4 years as your mayor will be to connect the dots between our hopes for the city's future and being a good steward of public resources. You see, vision can come from many places, but smart cities realize that engaging their community members in the city governance process leads to better answers and deeper public ownership of their future. Under my leadership, Brooklyn Park will become second to none, so our peers can look to us for best practices, innovation, and inspiration. So rather than working towards benchmarks, we will become the benchmark. So for an experience you can trust, vote Russell for mayor. You can vote now at the Brooklyn Park City Hall or on Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th. Thank you.
Do you need a car?
Ready for an upgrade?
Then come to Sika Motors, sole distributors of Toyota vehicles, Mitsubishi vehicles, and Yamaha motorbikes, genuine accessories and spare parts.
You name it, we have it. We have the 2022 brands of Toyota vehicles. Select from our new Toyota Starlight,
Toyota Belter, Toyota Rush.
We've got the best deal in town through our Sika Motors financing schemes with selected banks, EcoBank Liberia and UBA Liberia, starting at the lowest as $500 USD. You won't believe these prices. Come for quality, reliability, and durability. Take a spin and let's make a deal.
Sika Motors on the UN Drive at Sayotown, Bushra Island, or call Sika Motors on +231 775 987 758 or email cmarketing@cfao.com. Sika Motors, drive with confidence.
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that SendWave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Lone Star Cell mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download SendWave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure. And start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. SendWave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you.
Boga, open up. I need to address somebody. Yeah.
Okay, good folks. Let me say good morning to you wherever you are. Welcome to yet another edition of the Costa Morning Show. And today is Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, the 13th of October, 2022. 2. Gradually, we are climaxing this year, and the much anticipated year, which is 2023, we will.
Yes, brother, I'm back here with you, man. Somebody will piss me off. You call me, I don't answer. Then you start threatening, oh, I will not call you no more. Huh? Like when you don't call me, I will die. And I tell y'all, I don't like that. Nobody's supposed to talk to anybody. Yeah. And if you say you say you know me, you should know that by this time, this is what we are doing. We're on the show. If somebody calls Boga right now, and do you expect to be able to talk to Boga, especially if it's not even an emergency? Then you start getting vexed. Oh, I will not call you no more. Yeah, then don't call me no more.
Because even my mother, no, by this time I'm busy, so she don't call me normally the time. So my mother can.
Why would you call them except it's urgent? But if it's urgent, you can send a message and say, "Look, it's urgent. I need to talk to you." Then the person can walk away. But it is the threatening part that's pissing me off, not even the calling part. To make the threat, I will not call you no more. Well, you will not call me no more. I will die. Nonsense. Toya Boga, sorry for interrupting you. Talk, my brother.
Yeah, so we are entering in 2023, the most anticipated year.
We are.
And the signs have been coming out.
Very clearly. The writing is on the wall.
Yeah, political leaders have started reaching out to their, supporters and trying to get other people over to their camp. And it's glaring. The signs are on the wall. Those that said that the 6 year couldn't climax, now you see, just a few more months.
I'm telling you. And you know what? I will say this to you. You are so right. People are coming out, and I'm particularly excited that my candidate JMB, is getting out there. And to those of you who said, he's not going to, JMB can move around, watch me. JMB will do a lot more moving around than you currently see. A lot more moving around because it's critical. Yesterday, his performance on the show was great. There were many people in our camp who were concerned that platform is a Musability platform, is an anti-JMB platform. But JMB handled himself very, very effectively. The conversation, and I must say this, the two hosts were very professional. They were. Waga, I'm sure that is your opinion as well, right?
Yeah.
They were professional. They didn't, try to ambush JMB. And JMB is very capable of handling himself. And he did a fantastic job yesterday. And, on the issue of tackling the bad rules in 100 days, I just want to say this. He didn't mean he would pave all the rules or grade all the rules in 100 days. He actually meant that work can begin on those rules. And it is possible. Here is why it is possible. If the government bought a fleet of yellow machines, motor graders, front-end loaders, backhoes, and excavators, and dump trucks, and deployed those equipment along those very deplorable corridors. I mean, you're talking the road to Grand Jide, how very bad it is. Parts of Lofa, other parts of the country. If you deploy those equipment there, you don't have a problem. Those equipment can maintain the roads all year round. The roads can be maintained.
But Costa, we are looking at a time frame though, attached.
In 100 days, you can have those equipment brought in. 100 days. 100 days, don't forget now, it's 3 months.
3 months.
How long does it take to bring those equipment from Europe? Because you're not buying them from the US, Europe. You can bring those, you can take 1 month to find the funds, to find the money. And in 2 months, and then at the end of the 1 month, you can go to Europe, procure or purchase the equipment. And before the next 2 months are up, the equipment can be brought into the country. It takes 3 to 4 weeks or less from Europe to Liberia by sea.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can deploy those equipment across the country. So at all times, when you see pictures of those deployable roads, what do you see? You see that it is possible those roads, those areas that are very, very bad, that they can be fixed. Those areas that are very, very bad can be fixed. Are you talking about no audio? It must be your cell phone. That's a good point, Stevie Johnson. We can use the engineering department or contingent or the engineering unit of the AFL. Do you know AFL soldiers? They have an engineering. You have almost 2,000 men and women just sitting there on payroll.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing, essentially. If you took about 500 of those guys or 200 of them, 200 of them, and train them, some of them are already trained to operate earth moving equipment, these equipment. You can train those guys, or train additional ones, and you can deploy them rather than hiring new people. But now those ones that you're using, you can incentivize them. You pay them a little more, or you give them per dime. You don't call it a salary, you give them per dime, or you give them allowance. Those engineers, those guys can fix those roads all over the country. So, Bwakai, we can do it. We can do it. It's achievable. Samuel Josiah, it is achievable. Bwakai, listen to me. We borrowed $30 million from the IMF to do what with? We said we wanted to feed our people during the height of Corona. What did we do with the $30 million?
We didn't see it.
We stole the $30 million. The WEA government stole the $30 million. So don't say it cannot be done. If you take $10 million and you bought equipment, motor graders, excavators, backhoes, dump trucks, and you bought tons of them, you can buy, tons of them. You can buy the Volvo brand, which is a very good brand. You can buy the Komatsu brand, which is a very good brand. You can buy the Caterpillar brand, which is one of the most popular brands. And you can deploy those machines all over the country. And you take the AFL people and they can fix those roads, maintain those roads all year round. You want to say it cannot be done? It can be done. We can get the money to do it. Okay? Back when UNMIL was in Liberia, didn't you see the Bangladeshi contingent fixing the roads all over the southeast?
Yeah.
Didn't you see the Chinese doing it? We saw the Bangladeshi contingent. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you were not in Liberia. The Bangladeshi soldiers were embedded with the UN peacekeeping mission in Liberia UNMIL. They used to be all over the place, the engineering contingent, fixing our roads in the southeast and other parts of the country. We can do it. We can use the AFL. We can take $10, $15 million and invest it in procuring those equipment. Nobody is saying that you should pave the roads overnight, but make the roads passable. Yeah. Make the roads good. Bwakai, you put machines on those roads to maintain those roads all year round. You incentivize those AFL engineers, pay them an allowance, buy them food. They can fix those roads. Bwakai. They can fix those roads all year round. They can fix those roads. It would no longer be such a struggle and such a pain and such a risk to your life moving on those roads, traversing those roads. So nobody should say this cannot be done. We borrowed $30 million from the IMF, supposedly to buy food and feed our people during the height of the COVID. We stole the money. Up to now, the government of Liberia is yet to give us a proper accounting as to what they did with the money. They are yet to tell us that. They are yet to tell us that. So what Joe Bwakai said can be done. How long did it take Joe Bwakai to borrow the money? It took them a few weeks. How long didn't they announce to us that they were trying to get money to do feeding program? Mm-hmm. The next thing we knew, they said they had the money. $30 million, they took it from the IMF as a loan. Why can we not take the same $30 million from the IMF to buy equipment and deploy them all over the place to fix our roads?
Yeah, but if Josh Weah can build his houses in less than 90 days, what do you think?
Thank you. Patrick Kimba Kekula says Costa Liberia has had debt rolls in the past, and they were still good and possible for travel. Public Works, well, yeah, that's true. Public Works used to maintain a team.
Yeah,
in
it's
every
substation.
county.
Yeah.
They call them the county engineers.
Mhm.
Every county had a public works county engineer. Today, what do they do? What do those engineers do if they're still deployed across the counties? We can fix those roads. So what Joseph Boakai said is not impossible. It can be done with the right leader who comes in and says, look, we're going to bring these equipment. We can borrow the money and do it. We borrowed $30 million and stole it. Joe Boakai will borrow $30 million and will buy good equipment for all the counties. We'll deploy them. We'll send the engineers there. We'll send the AFL engineers and we'll fix our roads. That is what the Boakai administration will do in the first 100 days. So don't let anybody tell you it's impossible. It is possible and it will be done when Boakai is president. Now, we move on to something else there, Boakai. So I just want to say this, folks. Yesterday, a good friend of mine, a young brother, sent me some pictures of they arrested a gentleman at the airport. They knew money you will not bring. They knew money that was there, bro. Wait, so
yeah,
the man and answer facing the counterfeit. A gentleman was arrested at the airport yesterday.
Mhm.
Okay? Do you have the video and the pictures and stuff?
I saw the photos from the airport. Well, you know,
I have the videos. I'm gonna send them to you.
Okay,
This gentleman was arrested yesterday at the airport with two large bags of
counterfeit
Liberian money.
Yeah.
That's the fellow. I even have a video. Two large bags, counterfeit. So kada, what we call kada. Now, we just pay the money.
It's not even 1 week yet, though.
The new money just came about a week or two ago. The Sanama Swan already NASA counterfeiting the money. Now, that just one man did not catch.
Yeah.
Who knows how many other people are counterfeiting the money and bringing it into the country? But look at how brave the guy was, okay, to bring this counterfeit money through RIA. Now we need to find out where did he bring this money from? You see, this is why they need to offer him a good deal and say, look, you know what, Papi, we'll not catch you already. You're supposed to go to jail for a long time because counterfeiting is a serious crime. You counterfeit a nation's currency. It's not a small joke. Let me find out from Google how long people can go in jail for in America for counterfeiting. What's the punishment for counterfeiting in the United States? Up to 20 years in America. Up to 20 years. So you sit this Salama Swan down, you ask him a question. My man, tell us, how many of you are engaged in this counterfeiting? Where did you take the money from? Who all are involved? When you tell us, we will reduce your sentence. Rather than giving you 15 years or 20 years of, I don't know what the Liberian law says in terms of how long you can go to jail for, but tell us, because this can cause serious economic sabotage. You print your money and somebody goes and prints fake currency. They counterfeit your currency and they put it out there. It's tantamount to economic sabotage. They can dilute the value of your currency. They can dilute it. So you said, look, tell us who all are engaged in this behavior. How many of you are engaged in this behavior? Once they can spill the beans, and the beans that they spill will lead to arresting the kingpin, the people behind it. Because this kind of thing here, it cannot be one man. It cannot be one man doing this thing here. There must be other people involved.
An entire cartel.
Exactly. So you start catching them. You start catching them. And then you put a reward, cash reward. Anybody who knows anybody involved in counterfeiting, come forward with information. If that information leads to the capture and to the capture of the individuals, you will be paid. You will be given a handsome financial reward, because this is serious. The new money, the Jeffers, the men that are counterfeiting the new money. Already, we're not going nowhere yet.
But Costa, my problem here is that not just the new money, even the other money that we're using first, the guys did it too much.
That's true.
And what I'm thinking about here is that this was not happening during the early administration. If it was happening, it was not that much that it is in a weird.
Oh, hold on, Blaga. I know where the money is from. Sorry, you will come back to your point. The guy was coming from Dubai. He brought the counterfeit money from Dubai.
Fine, I know.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead, Blaga.
Yeah, so Costa, why is it too much in this administration than past administration? Is it that the system is kind of weak, or the way they place the guys are printing the money from, people are going there to buy some from them? I just don't know.
That's a good point. Also, just so you know, this guy is the manager of a company in Liberia called Whom LACC Cargo. Whom LACC Cargo. Whom LACC Cargo. Whom LACC Cargo. Who knows that company? He's the manager of that company. Whom LACC Cargo. But the point is, Wakai, so this guy brought his money on the plane all the way from Dubai?
Yep.
So the security in Dubai did not catch this man at the airport? They didn't catch him at the airport? Wakai? Is that what you say?
Does it not?
They let this guy board the plane with bags of counterfeit currency? Wow. This is serious. It is very serious.
I'm seeing a website. I'm seeing a page here. Whom LRB Logistic Air and Sea Cargo Company.
There you go. Guess what? I'm pretty sure the only reason why those guys set up that so-called logistics and cargo business is to do counterfeiting, to move their money.
They are located right here on Kere Street, in a plaza building right on Kere Street there.
There you go. There you go. This is serious stuff. Yeah. Serious business. Let me convey my condolences to my mother, Ma Sarah Tule, for the loss of your little sister. My deepest condolences. I'm so sorry. And I know how much you really wanted her to recover, to get well. And but God knows why. He had other plans for her. And she has been called home much too early, much too soon. So have my deepest condolences, Ma Sarah Tule. Our SG, Mr. Joseph Alai. Joseph Alai, the SG of the COP, celebrates his birthday today. Mr. Joseph Alai, I want to wish you happy birthday as you celebrate your birthday today. May God Almighty increase your blessings bountifully, and may your day be filled with peace, love, and happiness. Yesterday was the birthday of Mrs. Teresa Wiana. the mother of our general manager, Mr. Sylvester Teves Na. Mrs. Teresa Na, I want to wish you happy belated birthday. I hope you had a beautiful day, and I hope Teves sent your birthday gift.
Yeah. Also,
I hope you send you small chichi.
Yeah. Saki celebrated yesterday too. Also,
The man called my chichi. Is it chi? When our chichi coming? Chichi. Oh, stupid Tony. Chichi. Oh my, I hope the man say your chichi for your birthday. The man are people.
Yeah,
You can't spend a chichi on other thing, and you gotta spend a chichi on the Oma.
Liberia Emmanuel Saki too celebrated his birthday yesterday.
Oh yeah. Of course, we did shout him out yesterday. We sent him a birthday shout out, and the people also sent chichi too for y'all. So I hope you are aware. The man said he won't celebrate a birthday. Yeah, but the chichi will come through Eduardo. Let me just announce it now. So Eduardo can. I know Eduardo playing if he did not intend to inform you, but the chichi, he has been exposed.
Chichi Lenne already. So Chichi Lenne already.
The Chichi Lenne already. There you go. The Chichi already Lenne. Okay, fantastic. Well,
Costa, let me just they whom LRB Logistic Air and Sea Cargo. What I'm seeing here about them, they are heavily moving stuff from only Dubai and China. From that page, they aren't see any other country that they are moving cargo from, but only Dubai and China. So what they're saying that the guy took the money from Dubai, it shouldn't be strange to us that and I'm also hearing that the guy is a custom broker.
Yeah, of course, he is a custom broker. I saw the comment from my brother there, Thomas Kura. And Thomas Kura, the man in import business, so he knows a lot of the custom brokers. Yeah. But guy, I'm sure they gotta set that thing up so they can be bringing money in. Guy, that's the whole idea of setting up that their business.
Because who knows how much that guy been bringing in? Or how much already he was just wanting to add it up. Because
and you know what kind of money, man, bro? He did not bring a $500 denomination. Angel, we are gonna be $1,000 bill.
$1,000 bill.
That's so low, the man, bro. $1,000 bill. But you think the man gonna go bring $500 bill way in Dubai to bring it?
To waste my own time?
Yeah, the man process a 1G bill. But you know what I mean? $1,000 bill. One booklet with has how many pieces? One wad. One thick wad. It has about 100 pieces.
Yeah, 100 pieces.
So that means one wad like this is $100,000. Just one wad, which is this thick, is $100,000. So if the man brought two bags full,
and you know that one bag, which how many pieces of it will go in a bag?
In a bag? If one bag is 100,000, what is the value of 100,000 USD? So that 100,000 US for each, the value, one wad. So you multiply that. If the man brought about how many wads? Let's say about 100.
They just say 50 in one bag.
Millions of dollars. That's millions of dollars. That's how much one bro. Millions of dollars that God brought. Because one wad is $100,000. And he brought two bags.
Yeah.
2 bags. That boy brought. I see the money. Did I see the picture of the money on the table?
Yeah, I saw them. Yeah.
No, I didn't say it yet. Yeah, the money on the table.
I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, this is it right here. So $100 bills. I mean $1,000 bills. The ball brought in. God knows. So let's move on to something else. This guy, what's his name? Martin. Councillor Edwin Martin, the LACC former chairperson. Martin is suing the government. Edwin Martin is suing the government for over the new LACC Act that saw him lose his job.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Exactly. He's suing the government over losing his job. But here's the thing. Where is that case going to go?
No, Costa, let me just hold you there. Edward is testing the system.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's going to test the system.
You know that
Patrick Horner tested the system.
You know that the first he knew that the first chief justice was not going to do anything about his case. So he
and you
waited.
think the current chief justice would do anything?
I come in Costa. So he waited for the tenure of Okpo to finish. Now we have a new chief justice. So he said, okay, Senate president is new. Let me test the system and see where she stands on this particular matter. Because
But it's going to take a long time before the case even goes to the Supreme Court, if it does go to the Supreme Court. Mind you now, Boga. It's not just now. These cases don't easily go to the Supreme Court. It has to be adjudicated and finalized in the lower court. And then, of course, you can take an appeal. Because this suit is a civil suit. He's suing the government civilly, not criminally. It's a civil lawsuit. He feels that he has been injured by virtue of the fact that he was kicked out of his job when he was given a tenure. Martin was given a tenure. I'm pretty sure Martin's case is premised upon the fact that he was in a tenured position and you change the law and you remove him from the position. The way tenures work is that once I'm in a tenure position, I have to complete my tenure except I did something and you remove me from there. But if you change the law of the entity that I work for, that new law is not applicable to me.
Okay, sure.
It is applicable to the person who succeeds me after my tenure expires. So removing Martin because a new law was made, it violates, because you see, laws in Liberia are not retroactive. Laws in Liberia are prospective, which means the laws do not go back to take effect on things that have already happened. The laws go forward to take effect against things that will happen. Let's say they say if you pee here, if you stand on here, you pee here, you will be free, or there's no punishment. Then you make a law that says that if somebody pees there, that person will be punished. If I pee there in the past, you cannot punish me based on the law that you made. You see? And yeah, Brother Kennedy put it the right way. He's grandfathered in. That's another way the American people would say it. So you cannot remove him. So Martin has a case. The tenure of the presidency is how many years?
6 years.
I want it reduced to 4 years. The tenure of the Senate is 9 years. When you make a law now, if you make a referendum and the proposition is pitched to the people and it is passed to amend the Constitution to reduce the tenure of the president from 6 years to 4 years, does that reduced tenure, or does that new law from 6 years to 4 years, does it take effect where we are now?
No.
No. It will only take effect with the next president, which will not be we, of course. So Martin has a case. Martin's case is that when you made the law, I had already been given my position. I was already in my position. To borrow Brother Kennedy's word, I had already grandfathered in. So the new law cannot now eject me from my position, because that means you would be contravening, or you would be going against the fundamental quintessential principle of our jurisprudence, which is that laws in Liberia are prospective and they are not retroactive. So Martin does have a case. And if the judiciary has sense or they were fair. This case is an open shot case. It's a slam dunk. Because you go to the court, Your Honor, this is my case. I was appointed when the laws on the book was that XYZ. When they changed the law, they removed me from my position. No, you cannot remove him. Martin has to complete his tenure because the new law was made after Martin had already been appointed, confirmed, and installed. It is as simple as that, Waka. It is as simple as that.
Yeah, but Costa, for me, I think it is good that he takes the system.
It is good.
Even though that we know that the system isn't 100% good for the country, but it is good. You saw Patrick, like you said, Patrick Hunter tested the system and later he got a result. So Clark is trying to make the Liberian people know that his rights were violated. And as an individual, he just don't want to sit and allow things slash. So let me test the system and see where the new Chief Justice or the new Supreme Court, what they saying, blah, 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 where they stand on a particular matter, because it's something that can be addressed, Costa. We just don't supposed to look at it because, George Weah wanted this way, or the national legislator wanted this way, so we should just let it slide. No. The country is governed by laws, and we have to follow the laws. So if you are against, or you infringe on the man's right, the man have the right to go to the court and defend himself there through the system.
I agree. So we wish Martin best of luck on his lawsuit or with his lawsuit. Best of luck, my friend. Best of luck. Now, folks, this morning we will have a guest on the show. My friend Orlando Chinoway is, when you said that, I wanted to respond. When you said the system, though the system is not 100% perfect. Are you kidding? The system is not even 100%, 50% good. Orlando, you nearly, I wanted to say the same thing to Bwagai. You took the words right out of my mouth. The system is not even 50% good, Bwagai. So, my man, you can go to court for a clear court case. The system can set you, the system can make you lose. The system is corrupt.
Yeah, but Costa, that system, even though if you know that the system is not 50%, but we just have to work along with it because it's what taking us.
My man, the day we start giving judges Doffa Tabe for taking bribes and manipulating the system. Let me tell you something. The day I become president of Liberia, this is what I'll do with the NSA. We spend $10 million a year on the National Security Agency. For what? They say they collect intelligence, they analyze it, they report to the president, and blah, 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 blah.
No audit.
Most of the intelligence that they provide, not even correct intelligence. That liquor shop intelligence. They go sit down in the liquor shop, they drink it in the Bayogo shop. Then somebody listen to somebody talking and say, okay, then you go read a report. This is what President Henry Costa will do with the NSA. I will retrain the NSA. I will have the NSA retrained. We will procure the most sophisticated intelligence gathering equipment for the purpose of spying on. Listen, we will gather intelligence. We will take the NSA, retrain it, re-equip it, and unleash them to monitor government officials across the three branches of government. We will be collecting intelligence on you, on your activities. You're in the courts, the various places. We will have court officers who will be NSA agents. In the various ministries, we will have office assistants, clerks, secretaries who will be NSA spies, collecting intelligence on all the corrupt officials and supplying them to the NSA and bring it to me, the president. Then we will forward you we'll be catching judges. When you hear, ladies and gentlemen, the news will read, the NSA, they just arrested Judge John Brown. John Brown it is alleged that he received a $50,000 bribe from a Lebanese businessman to rule in his favor. All that information will be coming from the Henry Costa's NSA. We will pay your secretary, who will pay your driver, We will pay your, what you want to call it, all of them will be our spy. I mean, that is the way my NSA will work. I will train them. We will pay them. Imagine your secretary is making let's say $200-300 US. NSA will pay her extra $500. Extra $500. You know what I asked for $500 for? She gave me intelligence. Any documents you see coming into your office that are not looking correct, all the yama deal that you're making, your secretary is informing the NSA. Sit down there. My NSA, Brother Fedi Mayor, you're right. That should be the job of the LACC. LACC will only investigate and prosecute. NSA will gather the intelligence. No, brother, you misunderstand it. LACC will prosecute. LACC will investigate and prosecute. The NSA will gather intelligence and feed it to the LACC and the Ministry of Justice. That is what my NSA will do. Sit down there. You say that some money will tabay the judge. Some money will tabay the judge. Oh, what did the man do? Oh, the man took $45,000 from the businessman to rule in kid. You tell the man to South Beach. That thing you're doing there, where you'll be looking at people, the man too good to go to jail. I will disgrace people. Look, let me tell you something. Until Liberia can disgrace the bad people, and the most terrible human beings in Liberia are not the poor people selling in Waterside Market, are not the pimping border or the armed robbers. The armed robbers are not the most terrible people. The most terrible people are the ministers, the judges, the president. They are the most terrible people in the country. You'll be getting the thing twisted. Somebody who snatches a cell phone, you think he's the most terrible person in society? It is the minister who does a bad deal that shortchanges the citizenry of the country, that forces that man into snatching somebody's cell phone. He is responsible. They are the bad people. We will take them out. So rather than my NSA focusing on going to Bible shop, listening in on people's conversation, and coming to me as president and lying to me, oh, Mr. President, on Tuesday, a few of my agents were in a liquor shop on Kerry Street, and people were plotting to overthrow the government. I said, you dare lie. You dare lie. If you don't bring me real tangible evidence, you think you're just gonna bring me, oh, look, we will redeploy you. And then you come to me and tell me, say, oh, Mr. President, this advocate or this talk show host is a threat to the country. We got to follow him very closely. And we have deployed men to follow his every movement. We are listening in on his phone calls, and we're trying to know what he does. I said, leave that talk show host alone, or leave that advocate alone. He's no threat. The real threat to the country, that the judges, that the ministers, that the officials in the government, the lawmakers, they are the real threat to the country. Look, you not see that kind of thing? My policy, what are you talking about, man? You think I can make a waste? I gave you $10 million in the budget so you can go be spying on talk show hosts, so you can go to buy a whole shop and be listening on people. You something wrong with you? You stupid? That is not what we use the money for. Use the money to spy on the judges. Use the money to spy on, and before you spy, my man, look, my man, I beg you. And let me tell you something. Somebody saying, oh, you're Billy Law. We'll set up a special court. A special court. That court that will be set up will take a real bona fide, listen now, so we can break the law. Listen to me. We'll set up a special corruption court. That special corruption court will already be established to prosecute people. We will put real bona fide judges there, real anti-corruption czars. They will be the judges on that particular court. Every time we want to spy on John Brown, you know which court we'll go to get a warrant to spy on John Brown? Boy, guy, you want to finish it for me? Which court will we go to get the warrant to spy on John Brown? That very same court. You think we'll come and go to a corrupt judge, sit down in one corrupt court, and go ask him to get a warrant to spy on one of his friends? You already, by the time before you can sign the warrant, if you didn't call him, my man, the NSA just came here for a warrant to spy on you. Be careful. We're not going to do that. The court, the special anti-corruption court that was set up, a fast-track special anti-corruption court. And I hope Joe Biden sets up that court. Because when Joe Biden doesn't set up that court, I will set up that court. When I'm president of Liberia, we'll set up that court. That court will be the court that will issue the warrants, legal warrants. They will sign the warrants so we can spy on people. You think we're going to go break we're going to violate people's rights to just do illegal wiretapping or tapping your phone lines? No, we will go to the court and get a warrant to listen in on your conversations. We will spy on you. We will pay your driver. We will pay. My man, look. No, let me tell you something. That's the only way you'll fix this country. But when you start doing Dofa Tabe, in the morning, they see one judge or one minister, they not Tabe, they carry him to court. They hang on in your hand, like Joey I said. They hang on in your hand. They hang on out in your hand, but they hang on in your hand. When you see the man with the hang on in your hand, then I think you know what's up.
Human rights violation.
What you call human rights violation? When we collect intelligence on you that we obtain by legal means, and we supply it to Ministry of Justice and to the Anti-Corruption Commission, and you are arrested based on that and brought in for interrogation, we can hold you for 48 hours as per the law. We can release you and continue to investigate. Once we get evidence you obtain by legitimate means, it finished. You don't know how the law works, eh? If you suspect that Boaka is engaged in a corrupt deal, Boaka, you know when we will even do the wiretapping on you and start tapping your phone line? Because in your office, we already have your secretary on our payroll. She finished telling us that she overheard you. Listen, she saw you having discussions to do something bad, to violate the law, something illegal. And she has already tipped us off. She sent her report to her handler at NSA. The handler then reports that to the people. Then we go to the court and get a warrant to start listening to your phone calls and to tap your whatever. And we then, during that exercise, they call it surveillance. We are surveilling you. There is a technology. I just wrote a paper on it. For my I'm studying criminal justice. I just wrote a paper for I'm doing a course called Technology for Modern Policing. This is Criminal Justice 6600. Technology for Modern Policing. This technology is called Stingray. It is spelled STINGRAY. Stingray technology. Let me tell you how the Stingray technology works. This is how it works. It's in a vehicle. You can move it. It looks like a briefcase. You can take it around with you in a vehicle. And if you want to listen in on Boakai's conversations, you come within a certain distance of Boakai, a certain proximity, physical vicinity of Boakai. And you open that technology and you zero in on Boakai's number. You put Boakai's phone number in. And what it will do is that when Boakai attempts to make a phone call, you see all your phone calls are routed through the tower. Yeah. You see all those towers? Everywhere you are, to make a phone call, the signal has to bounce off of that tower. So what the Stingray technology does is that it pretends to be the tower. So rather than your phone call bouncing off of the tower, the Stingray technology will pretend that it is the tower. Your phone call will then bounce off of the technology. Then that means now it's finished hooking up your phone call. We are now listening to everything you say. It can read your WhatsApp messages. It can listen even on WhatsApp call. It can do everything. Stingray. I just wrote a whole paper on that technology. So I know what I'm talking, you boy. That technology, you can get it for $200,000-$300,000. But they only sell it to governments, law enforcement agencies. So we can listen in all your phone calls. We ain't got to be in the same building with you. We can even read your text messages because the signal, my man, don't be me talk plenty, man. We know what we are talking. We will use these technologies. And there are lots of technologies, not just Stingray, but the Stingray is one of the most sophisticated ones. That's how you will fix the country, to clean this country up. You have to disgrace people. People, so-called important people, must be disgraced, arrested, and put in jail. Yeah, my man Orlando, we're telling the people that we're learning criminal justice, my man. I just wrote a whole paper on the benefits and the of using the Stingray technology. I wrote a 9-page paper, on that on a WhatsApp is encrypted, but not for Stingray. Stingray can listen even to a WhatsApp call. It can listen to a WhatsApp call. If you think I'm lying, don't take my word for it. Go and read up on the Stingray technology. I will bring those things in town, plenty. It will be all at NSA everywhere. We'll listen to your phone calls. We'll do everything but before we do it, we'll get a warrant from the court. What you got encrypted? You already WhatsApp. That encryption can be penetrated. But let's go to the phone lines and take some calls.
All right.
My future plans to the people what I will do as president.
Joey, I also call NSA people now. So you're saying that there.
Let me answer my brother D. Phil Mayor. Brother Mayor, and I know you support me, my future presidential bid, but let me say this to you, brother Mayor. When you go to the court and obtain a warrant to listen in on a suspect, to survey that person, to conduct surveillance, intelligence gathering, and analysis. Once you do that, it is not against the law. Wiretapping is not against the law when you obtain a warrant from a court. Before you get the warrant from the judge, you must appear before the judge and present prima facie, or you must give the judge reason. Convince the judge that John Brown is engaged, we suspect, we like to believe, based on X, Y, and Z. Present that to the judge and say, we suspect John Brown is engaged in blah, 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 blah. We want to conduct a surveillance of John Brown. You must obtain that warrant before you can start wiretapping John Brown. So that's why I say, when we set up the special anti-corruption court, that court will issue the warrants to wiretap people. We're not going to break people's violate people's rights. How you think they do surveillance in America? I'm studying criminal justice. I'm telling you, you get a warrant to wiretap people. If you obtain intelligence illegally without a warrant from a judge, that intelligence cannot be used in that court to prosecute that person. It cannot. It cannot be used against that person. But if you obtain a warrant and you gather the evidence based on the warrant that was obtained, that evidence can be used in the court. It's like you and somebody have a phone call and the person records you unbeknownst to you without your consent, and you may say incriminating things in that phone call. That information those things you said in that phone call, that you disclosed in that phone call, cannot be used against you in a court of law because that evidence was gathered without your consent. Nathan Blama, you shut up because you are just freaking annoying. You just heard me say repeatedly that a court will be set up to issue those warrants before a wiretapping takes place. And you're still there talking. If you really love, you didn't want. You just shut up because you're very, very annoying. I've noticed that about you. The few times I've glanced at your comments, you always go way left from everything else somebody says. We can say the most reasonable thing, you will always find the stupidest thing to say in response. Let's take some calls there. And you are this close from being ejected from this platform. This close from being ejected, permanently ejected. Let's take some calls there. Yeah, man, that guy, they're annoying. There are some people like that. You can even say Jesus Christ coming today. They will say, what's Jesus coming to do here?
He's always have a different view. Always have different.
It even makes sense. Instead of being happy that Jesus coming, then they'll say, but what's Jesus coming for? You know when they say Jesus came the first time, so kind of second time, then you ask them what Jesus coming to do. So you are this close to being ejected. Yeah, man. Let's take some calls there.
Okay, 0770-102-102.
Everything told the guy, just thought different thing. I said we'll go to court, we will get court order before we do the thing. Then you say, hey, my man, you'll be bringing people to law. You not yellow one talking. Yeah, man. Let's take some calls there.
Let's take this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Waka. Good morning to Henry Pedro Costa. Look, this morning, yesterday, the vice president used a word. Look, Waka, the people doesn't know the difference between plying the street and pavement. The vice president said, when I'm president, within 90 days or 100 days, there will be no cars stuck in the mud. Meaning all the places that always got problems, the vice president know that they will tackle those places before when at that time maybe some of the children were small. All the counties have yellow machines to get out the roads. Local county road used to be bad, but those the new places that used to be bad, they used to fix the places so the vice president said the road will be drivable. And I mean, I want to focus that there immediately within the 90 days. So you open your ear and start lying, say the vice president say he will be all the places so quota. No, he said that the roads will be drivable, and then all the roads will be covered up. Okay, you can start fixing it because one of the roads sometimes it took 2-3 years to fix it. So if you got a comprehension problem, you open your ears and listen to what the woman said.
Okay.
Thank you this morning, Costa.
Thank you. Now take somebody from the WhatsApp number. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning from the WhatsApp number. Isaac.
Hey, good morning, brother. Good morning, Costa. How you guys doing this morning?
Very well.
Great, my brother.
Thank you for the show, but I have a concern. That's something that I've been thinking about. Thank you for having me on the show. Costa always saying that we Liberians we couldn't forget, but I want to remind him about the social contract with JMB. That's the first thing I want you to talk something about it. It don't have to be today, but you have to say something about the social contract. And the second thing is that the computer that the COP sent to Liberia, there's no update. I have not heard anything about it. Thank you for the show this morning.
That's a good point. Hold on, my brother. Listen, the computers, we donated them. We donated 10 of those computers to, I believe 10, to the library that the Gonglo family built in their hometown in Yamesno district. I love that name, Yamesno. So we donated 10 of those computers to the Gonglo family. We donated several computers to several schools and other places. So we did not keep the computers. We donated all of them, right, Wagai? Didn't we?
Yeah, that's what happened.
We donated all of the computers. And I'm pretty sure the institutions to which we donated those computers are using them for the intended purpose. You know, I'm pretty sure of that. We did that. So my brother, thank you for asking that, but we did donate all of them. We don't have any left. Yeah. Go ahead.
Social contract.
What is it? Yahweh Mesno? Yeah, Yahweh Mesno. Okay, it's Yahweh Mesno. Yahweh Mesno district. I really do like that name. Yahweh Mesno. It sounds so good to me. Yahweh Mesno. That's the district that Councillor Gonglo hails from. Big brother McDonald Guano, do you come from Yahweh Mesno as well? No, he said it comes from the district that. Which district do you come from? Where in Nimba? Nimba has some places I really like the names. Bonadine, I like that one too. Bonadine, Ban. Some very interesting places, interesting names. Let's take some calls there, Boga.
0770102.
I have this friend of mine. He will be our guest very shortly on the show.
Yeah, my brother wants to give us. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get him, but let's take Cooper pass away on this line. Cooper calling from a reading room, man. Cooper, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Baka, and good morning to Costa.
Morning,
I've had a conversation through this morning on district like 11. Let me say thanks to Costa for the clarity because that's something some of that president took the information was clear, black and white. The conversation was related. He did say that 800 days you're going to make sure that people get opportunity to plan the girls, city, town, and villages. He didn't say you put quota on the road because so if the goal to build a road, it takes process. They get a PVC process, the procurement process, they get an engineer, they taking material in. So one of those things, the experienced person is going to put in a agriculture sector. He knows that to say a paved road now on the issue. So what makes it happening because every time he puts the vice president, he doesn't want to speak to the public.
Okay.
Every time he comes to the public to speak out, they want to make it happening. So I think the vice president was clear. And to tell we that we owe him and success here, that's a misinformation. So the CDC people, because nobody owe we are not this year. The first thing was we are. So now the country is going backward. So we are prepared and waiting on city 2023. So nothing can stop that mission.
Okay, Kuba. Thank you. Now take this our brother who want to give our information on how the money is printed in Dubai. And
that's very good.
And transported to Liberia. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Papa. How you doing?
I'm okay. You are not going to call your name.
That will be our last caller.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to call his name, and he can try to mask his voice a little bit so that
you just don't have to, sound that the way normally can sound. Just go ahead. We'll listen
try
to
sound different way. Poor handkerchief to your mom. Why are you talking? I'm not seeing the movie.
Yeah, brother, I'll call you because I want to let you know how the money can come. One thing, the guy who you talking about, the guy who have the company, how you do the shipping? You know the PB speaker there, the PB speaker.
Yeah.
They can open the speaker board. They put the money in the speaker and close it. They put in the cartoon, the civil Liberia. The money, the missing people in China, they enter Dubai. They go China in Dubai who bring the money for Liberian communities. A lot of Liberians in Dubai bring fake money to the country to that cargo. The cargo, the speaker board, they can open the speaker board, money school for them. They put the money there and sit on the back. They put in the cartoon, the civil Liberia. Most of the people in the city taking money higher rate. The money came with Dubai again. The money, the old money. Most of the brothers in the street taking money higher rate, new money. They can make the money and money. They can make the money and money. The new money, old money, teach it.
So the people can make the money at higher rate.
They use the thing only to buy and Liberian can ship. All the Liberian to buy, most of them Liberian to buy, they can ship money to the guy, to the cargo. They can use the speaker board. Then PB speaker, then they can open it with the school and put the money inside there and see that by the cartoon and ship it Liberia.
Yeah, but since when this been happening? I don't know. Is it been so long? Or it just
it been happening in Dubai. It been happening inside. It got shipping. It got a guy in Watersa. You can ship to Dubai to Watersa. You go and receive your goods. Most of the things, let's put go and check. Now I've given information, clear information. The speaker board that will be used. They can put the money in the speaker board and close it with the school down. And see that and ship it like rough.
Roger, you hear that?
Yeah.
So these guys are doing the high rate. Okay, brother, tell him thank you for us. I think we heard enough.
Okay. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you.
Now, brother, let me say this. You know, in the communities, right? You see these guys going around, these money changers. They're not stationed. They're walking around. High rate, high rate, high rate, high rate, high rate. So this guy's making sense. Because if people have counterfeit, which is not real money, they are inclined to want to convert it to USD. So they offer people high rates or much higher rates than the people who really earn their money the right way. Because they just want to flip this counterfeit money and get it off their hands. So that's why they're offering high rate. So the high rate people, we gotta be looking into them all. Because why would anybody offer high rate or a higher exchange rate? Let's say the money, what's the current exchange rate, Waka? What's the current exchange rate?
50.
Then we'll bring our guest, Mr. Daniel Charles. What's the current exchange rate?
150.
150. Now you see the high rate people, the guys that do the change money, walking around, they're offering you 150.
154. Let's just say that for the money to go faster.
Because what they have is counterfeit. It's not real money. So they're trying to quickly convert it into real money to take your USD. So they're essentially giving you counterfeit money in exchange for your USD. You see that? Now, why would a rate be 150 and somebody is giving you a high rate for 154 or 153? That man is supposed to be losing, right? But he's not really losing. The reason he's not losing is because he is giving you counterfeit, ordinary paper, with no real value, and in exchange, you're giving him real paper with real value. So we got to look into the higher rate people. You grab a couple of higher rate guys and ask them, where are you taking money from? You squeeze in, they will talk. Me, I know Liberian men scared. They quit to talk. The government needs to, that's what the NSA people are going to be doing. But they can go be looking their line to the president, Baga Kamara, Henry Costa, they're planning to overthrow the government. And they can go say, Baga.
Yo.
Yeah.
They made a funny.
Let's look at our brother Daniel Charles. Mama, the hiring island, we got to be looking into the hiring island, Daniel. Good morning, Mr. Charles.
Costa, good morning, Buckeye. How you guys are doing today?
We're doing very good, very good, folks. Let me say a little bit about my brother Daniel P. Charles before we begin this conversation. Brother Daniel Charles is a brother, is a friend. I've known him for so many years. We grew up together in Stephen Toba Estate. We've come a long way. Brother Charles is doing extremely well here in the U.S., has a beautiful family. He lives in Colorado. I was fortunate to have run into him the other day when I went for our mutual friend's wedding in Denver. And Brother Charles has a lovely family. He's written a book that is doing very, very well. Now, it's not a regular book for regular folks like myself. It's for the people in the IT industry. This book is flying off the shelves. It's doing very well. It's been adopted by many schools that are using it for as part of the, I'm a student, right? So we get to either rent books online, either from Pearson or from Sheck or from Red Shelf. These are all the platforms to rent books from. And I can say this to you, Brother Charles's book is being recommended, is being used in schools, universities. That's how good this brother is doing. And he's doing speaking engagements, traveling the U.S. from place to place. And I just want to say on this public platform, I've told him privately, I just want to say how extremely proud I am of my Stephen Toba Estate brother. You know, Stephen Toba Estate, my brother, all the way. So Brother Daniel Charles, the book is called Managing Inherent Technical Isolation. Managing Inherent Technical Isolation. This book is a strategic approach to streamlining and accelerating leadership and technology development within organizations. Now, you the IT people, you're like, okay, he's about to speak our language. But Daniel P. Charles, welcome to the Costa Show.
Costa, good morning, and I want to thank you for the brief intro. I want to also thank you, Buckeye, for all your enormous participation and support to this platform. Before I just talk a little bit about what Costa just said in the introduction, Costa, I think I was told just a few days ago that the estate had an election, so we want to congratulate the leadership of Stephen Toba Estate. I think.
They just had an election. Fantastic. They added me to the chat room. I need to be frequent there.
Yeah, they had an election. So I want to congratulate the entire leadership. I think Terrence DeWard is not.
Terrence DeWard beginning. Okay,
is not the new estate chairman. And in as much as I really don't like to talk about it, but our little sister Dynamite is the estate secretary general. She won the secretary general position.
Fantastic.
So she's been doing fantastic over there. So we want to thank the leadership, and we want to ask them that we'll extend helping hands to work with them in whatever way. But yeah, before jumping to the book, Costa, I also really wanted to say this. In a lot of private conversations, I've had a lot of people call me and say, "Man, do you know Costa and stuff like that?" Then I say, "Yeah, I do know Costa." "How well do you know Costa?" I say, "Well, we brothers. It's exceptional what he's been doing over the last decade or more. Just out here, you know, fighting for his dreams, fighting for his beliefs, and taking all the hits and still coming back again and again. I spoke to some young people. I said, don't look for perfection. Try to be unimaginably constant in what you're doing. And if we should point to one person, I know I've heard lots and lots of things. I keep my ears very, very sensitive to the political landscape. Why it is true that we're not here doing all the different things. I say I was fortunate to have had a lot of friends in government at a very early age from what we did from the university and other national advocacy. Um, I realized that politics is a beautiful thing, but what is even more inspiring is that we need to put our hands around the technocrat and the people that we
Yeah.
rely on to implement the policies as politicians. And so, one of my big problems that I have looked at for the last decade or more in our country is, capacity building. Giving people the skill set. Somebody spoke one time about our country, Costa, here in the U.S.,
Mhm.
and they said, "I wonder these people forgot." One analysis that a very powerful U.S. government official gave probably literally, I mean, over about 30 years ago, said when the war hit Monrovia, people might argue that they lost infrastructure and everything, but I believe the greatest challenge to that country is brain drain, um,
That's true.
human capital development. We will need it because I say the reason why I continue to believe more and more that we have to educate, empower, transform, and inspire our people is I watch some arguments sometimes in Liberia and I get discouraged. you know People just automatically deviate from the substance, from the subject, and they believe that they're arguing right, and I'm like, this is not acceptable on any standards. This is only in Liberia you can accept stuff like this. Somebody is discussing critical issue,
Yeah.
addressing the points,
Yeah.
detailing, you know accusations and counter accusations. Somebody will start talking about red light, go back and believe that they're winning the argument. I'm like, this is unacceptable. So we have to go back to really creating um, a process for national capacity building, help educate, inform, and provide intellectual independence for our people. It's very important. Where nobody has to depend on Daniel Charles or Costa, but people can be influenced by Costas' intellectual ability or Daniel Charles' intellectual ability to help coordinate processes to transform our country. I have been doing this now consistently for the last 6, 7 years at the international level. I don't like to talk about myself, Costa, but we came to this country. I know Liberians are always proud of their own. I told people one of the ideas that led to that book was that after the Golden Key Honorary Society had
Mhm.
contacted me, and I mean, people can research the Golden Key is the world's largest academic honorary society. After they had contacted me, people like the late Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela and Bill Clinton were all part of that organization. After they had contacted me and they said, "Look, you've done exceptionally well, and we want to admit you as a member of Golden Key." I went there on the papers because we've done these lab work, excessive and critical research and everything was excellent. Professor and I have compared notes, discussed issues in the classroom that were important to advancing the culture of technology. Uh, but at the event, I was shamed, Costa. I was really shamed because I've been over there and I met a lot of people with publication, research paper, transforming society, and everything. But I was just there on the basis of grades, scoring the best grade in the entire university. That's why
Mhm.
I was there. So I was like, well, there has to be a second element to this.
To why you are, yeah, and why you
Why
deserve to
I'm
be here.
here and why I deserve to be here. And that was a personal thing to me, though. I know I had people just inspired, like, man, this black young man, so clever, so smart. So I had a Latin's honor. Okay, I graduated with a Latin's honor. I mean, these people in
Fantastic.
this country,
Kudos, my
these people
brother.
in this country, they don't joke with it. When it's married, printed on your degree, distinguished scholar, and all that stuff. Yeah, I look at all that stuff. I push it aside, but I wanted to contribute to IT development, and I wanted to come in with something very unique. Like you said, the book is not for regular people, but At the very fundamental level, that book appeals to both non-technical and technical people, but it had to be written in a way that it makes sense to both groups. So I know chapter one talks about the management process of software development, and it moves into what is technical leadership, but it also builds into there one of the critical piece that we need today, which is the project management element. And then chapter four, we discuss a framework for building ethical models
And
within.
folks, just so you know, I downloaded the entire first chapter of the book, printed it out. This is what I have here. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Go on.
So and then chapter five talks about one of the very interesting process in IT today, enterprise systems. Part of the work I have done here, Costa, in this country, from private companies, even doing contracts for federal government, we've dealt a lot with inefficiencies around enterprise resource systems, adoption, deployment, and management and maintenance. So this book basically is so unique because it's one of its kind. There is no book in the world like that right now. And people will say it's my book, but the first research on isolation in IT was done in 1984, but it was just a talk. People were trying to figure out, look, we have a challenge with how we integrating technology and leadership processes, and we need a framework for that. Basically nothing was done, but part of the push that came out in the early 2000 was creating C-suite group like chief information officer, chief technology officer, and the hope was that these guys would just integrate the rest of the business and then bring the technology processes in alignment. Unfortunately, that wasn't working too much, so a framework was needed to address this. Right before the COVID in 2021, the last article came up, but it was based on um, remote isolation. So after graduating, I talked to about 11 professors, and all of them gave me salient reasons on why they can work with me on that project. But when I met the 12th professor, Dr. Levingu, who served as the guest speaker at the book launch, when he read the insight on the project, he said, "This is powerful, man." So he said, "What I want to do, I've been teaching IT for almost 45 years. What I want to do, I want to go and lay the groundwork for why this book is so important for our culture." So, so what he did was that he researched, and then a month and a half later, he wrote the introduction to the book. So the introduction to the book was not written by me; it was written by Dr. Levingood. Um, so he wrote the introduction to the book, and he established the case for why the book is needed. Um, then I took on the rest of the chapters in the book, completing it. So what has come as a surprise to me, Costa, is within 3 months of publication, this book is now being used by students in library all across the country. To be honest with you, I saw that coming, but not this early.
Okay.
I saw that coming, but not this early. So, I have just been inspired by the appreciation when people call and thank me for the timeliness of the work and the quality of the material. And students appreciate that we have filled this void.
Okay.
And now
So,
companies
so I'm going to ask you a question, my brother. Let me just, for laymen such as us, such as myself, and the thousands of others listening by means of radio and online, essentially this book, which is flying off the shelf, which has been adapted all over the place across the industry, managing inherent technical isolation, a strategic approach to streamlining and accelerating leadership and technology development within organizations. Essentially, what does this book help you do? How does this book help an institution? Of course, and every institution, every organization is dealing with some kind of technology. So, what does this book help you do?
So basically, I will put it in just one simple way, Costa. It's written out there, but as an organization, it takes your entire technology processes, put it in context, and gives you the framework to not only adapt the solution, but to know why you want a solution first. And then number two, to create the case for the solution. And then number three, managing the solution for and maintaining the solution. So, but the biggest thing that is within there is that it no longer does it in a way that it's been done before, where it's just the IT department, the IT department. This book is bringing the entire organization along
Hold
because
on.
because
No, no,
because
man. They will have a small part of the office, a small segment, running
yeah,
IT, exclusive of everything the organization does.
yes, that's why it's groundbreaking. That's why the book is groundbreaking, Costa, because the book, the HR manager can pick up this book now and walk and lead IT conversation. The
That's why, hence the title, Managing Inherent Technical Isolation. So
yes,
normally they isolate the technical
they
people, the IT
isolate
people.
the technical people or the non-technical people together, just isolate themselves from each other. So I've dealt with this a lot because the book is written from
So the
experience.
book
Some of the companies,
is to be a guide to help bring them, to make them inclusive and wholesome. And would that
that's the
make the
point.
organization more effective and efficient as a result of that?
It provides a strategic competitive advantage that we address in chapter 2. That when we do
Beautiful.
that,
Now I get it.
yes, Costa. So that's why I was going to come to the layman thing you're talking about. I never wanted to write a book that didn't make sense to the technical people or was oversensitive to them, or the reverse is true too for the non-technical people. You can have a non-technical person pick up that book and say, "Time, my man, this man is talking about the steps of software development in chapter 1. How do I connect with this or address it?" No, but give it some time, read it, and go through, and you see what we're doing in there. The technology process is a technical process, but I did some work to break it down in a way that you can see a leadership path that brings the technical process along with the non-technical process and creates a clear framework for making sure that this isolation issue is dealt with internally, and it gives the company that level of coordination that is required to create the truly strategic competitive advantage that they need. So because that is a book that you can read, and when you read it, your perspective about IT automatically it's going to start changing, because you'll be like, no, there's this technology thing, the way you guys look at it prior, it's not what it is now. I told somebody, I say, technology is not a culture, it's a way of life. It's something that we can no longer just leave to the IT department. And the IT department can no longer just be a data center where we transfer data and have them to come back with results. No, the IT processes require looking at institutional systems, because what we're doing here, we're using technology to transform our processes and create the type of efficiency that is needed to make us competitive in today's competitive business culture. So, how you want to look at it? Say maybe you are the business manager, Costa, and I'm the IT director. You have ideas about how you want to transform the business. And I know the tech solutions that can accelerate those ideas. What I would need to do is to sit and have a clear understanding with you and even drive you through the steps and processes that are required. I know most people very often, as soon you talk about technology, their mind runs to coding. But it's kind of funny because that if you look at the software development process, coding is probably the third or fourth stage. It's third or fourth, the processes that we have to go through first before we even start
So
writing
most
code.
people will never deal with coding.
Yeah, the coding is just basically over there for the technician. Software engineering is really led through a creative development process that requires people that think. I wrote specs for federal government projects for modernization systems. Okay. And I spoke with programmers, but programmers could only work based on the specs I gave them. Now, writing specs is very difficult. This is why it
And what does a
requires.
spec do? Try to break it down for us.
So specs basically what we take and do coding. So specs is just saying these are the clear functions of the software. Okay.
These are
So
the things that the
so
software will do.
yeah,
A, B,
yeah,
C, and
these are the
D.
things that the software would do. And then you have to make those things so clear and simple so that when people start running the coding lines, they
You
run the
develop the
coding
specs
lines on that.
first.
Yes.
Then you build the
Then you
particular
build it, then
software
you
around
build
it.
the software around it. Then you test the software. Like for example, maybe say if you need to do it in a multi-dimensional way where this application will take both numeric and alphanumeric data, that has to be tested. Okay, and then there's a security piece that goes with that, coding specification, functionality resolution, all those stuff. All these things may sound technical, but I don't like people worrying about them, because today the field of technology just require people that can think critically, and you can follow clear instructions to get things done. I wouldn't be writing specs for federal project, a young man from West Africa, Liberia, if I wasn't applying myself, if I wasn't thinking. So we have to inspire our people. This thing is possible. Okay, this thing is possible. So there are lots of opportunities out there that if
Charles, I
we
want to ask you a
really.
question. Just
Mhm.
veering off a little. I know you. I've known you for many years when we were like very young. You were an you were very you were a student leader at the University of Liberia. And when I say that, that picture of you being carried on the heads of your colleagues comes to mind. You were a tough advocate, leading change in your mantra. And did you see yourself taking a new career path, becoming, a technologist, an IT specialist, writing specs for federal government projects and stuff? Did you see yourself in that way ever?
Because I've always been a critical thinker, and to be very honest with you, I think being technical, maybe not just in the field of technology, but being technical was always in my DNA. Uh, I'm a kind of guy that, to convince me or to talk to me about some stuff, it really has to be critical, and not to be disrespectful or get political. Yeah, I know you've dealt with a lot of issues in our society, but I can tell you much of our problem is, you know, lack of the adequate competency that is required. And look at the University of Liberia today, for example, right? I always keep telling people, you have the people right there now that are leading the university that are inherently challenged. You know, when people have the capacity to transform society, they don't do it in darkness. They are transparent because they know that what they would do will require questions, and these questions can be brought in a way that can really help to coordinate and lead the transformation process. The university is struggling, higher education is struggling in our country. We've all talked about education system being challenged for a long period. Take all these proposals that you have, whether it's coming from the World Bank or it's coming from this research group or the new research group they have, they're doing something in the education system. Cause that to develop a system to be compatible with our views, our society values, and our way of life will always mean you can take the documents from the technocrat, but your people will have to look at it and discuss how it support the transformation. But they require the capacity and the skill set. What is happening in our society, Costa? That's why I told people I drove myself a little bit deeper into my field because I don't deal with nonsense anymore. I don't deal with free talk anymore. I'm about
It's all
substance.
technical.
I'm
It's
about
all
I'm about
substantive.
I'm about substance. Okay. One of the things I say to people, and I like to repeat this here. I said, George, we are government. It's a joke. And the reason why I said it's a joke because I believe they lack the capacity to transform the country. Period. You can bring all the young people and give them jobs and promote them. Do they have the competence that is required to change things?
Nope.
Did you send them out for critical training? Leadership is not a guesswork. I'm done with that mentality a long time that leadership is a guesswork. I see what people put into developing this country called America that we are all into the Costa. It's not a joke. People can read 10 pages and then they say they're transforming society. How will you document the framework and the process? Who will look at it and question it? When you and I were back in Liberia, Costa, we talked to Madam Salif. When the people analyzed the poverty reduction strategy, what did they say was the major problem of the poverty reduction strategy? International expert said, how you develop a document that has no MAE framework? How you gonna test whether it's
Monitoring
working or whether
and
it will work
evaluation.
or whether it is there are people in Liberia every day they asking what is MAE. People started learning it now, but how to build it, what is required of it, persistent result based monitoring. But beyond that, Today, we develop most of our policies with no risk framework. People are not supposed to be worried whether a project will fail or not, because there are indicators that will point to if the project is going to fail or not. So I'm asking ourselves, how are we running our society? How are we changing our society? That's why I don't talk too much. Because if you bring all these nonsense conversation in front of me, it's not a debate. If you have substance, we can talk about it. Other than that, just go discuss your politics. I don't have the time for it.
That's good.
I don't have the time for it. So Costa, and I see your frustration. I see a lot of people frustration because you hear educating, empowering yourself. People come to school in this country and they say, man, I can't do school here because school all by itself is a crazy full-time job, and professor will run lines through your paper. They don't know you. You can't go complain to anybody.
Nope.
You can't go complain to anybody. You will fail. You have to repeat and you have to pay for these courses because they have to discipline you so that when you come out, you a product that represent them. It's not a joke. We're making too much fun in our country, Costa, and that's the thing that we have to change. That's exactly what I believe we have to change. Other than that, we will just be talking. So to your point about why I got more technical, technicality was always in me. I just it just escalated when I arrived on the international scene where I started feeling connected to the system, to the society, and people started looking at me. They say, "Well, this guy is gonna go on and just become something special." But beyond that, it's the grind that's in it, Costa.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. Sometimes you sleep for 2, 3 hours. It took me 17 months to write that book.
17 months to write this book.
Yes. I did 118 research if you look at the references at the back of the book. But as a matter of fact, I only included 56 in there, but I had the rest of them just kept aside. But 17 months, okay? Um, and then the professors had to review it for like 3 months. So I didn't just write it and publish it. I had to send it to different professors to review and come back and certify. Say, man, it's a great work. So it's a lot that goes into this.
Okay, now,
People
brother, let's
say,
talk about some of the places, some of the institutions, schools, and stuff. Let people hear this stuff, bro. I don't want to be the one to say. You say, where are some of the places this book is being taught, is being used as a guide to inherent, to show people how they can manage the HO inherent technical isolation within institutions, and how those institutions can become more efficient and more inclusive. Let's talk about that. Where are some of these places?
because the students are using it at a lot of universities. Like I can put it Arizona, Colorado State, and then a university in California. Two students call me from there. But most importantly is if you follow the textbook website, I don't know, the textbook website are specific to schools. So there's a lot of schools. I can't even tell you how many. But I think what I can vouch for is just internationally, it's now in 21 countries.
21 countries.
Yes, 21 countries. I think it was yesterday that they just sent me the report from Estonia. I'm like, where the hell is Estonia? I don't
Yeah,
even know
small
Estonia, right?
country, way
Yeah,
out there in
yeah.
Eastern Europe.
So yeah, if you add Estonia, it's about 22. But it's the UK, it's France, it's Italy, it's Brazil, it's China, it's Japan, it's everywhere. So it's been. I don't really know. I sit down and look at all the report. It's just a lot. Then library systems have picked it up in the United States. So one of the largest library system over there, the Black Gold Library System in California, they're providing it to over 7 different libraries, and then you have the Florida uh, Public Library down there doing it. Then you have the Williams Public Library in Arizona doing it. So it's just going ahead, Costa. But when I developed the project, I was thinking that give it 6 months, give it a year. But within 3, 4 months, it's
It
going
just took
faster
off like a
than I.
rocket.
Yeah, it's going faster than I thought. But I have actually taken a break from the project because I had to finish up my next project. My second book is coming up in December. It's not a technical book, but this is something that addresses personal development. And you spoke about one other issue, not to jump away from this book, but you know, I have about 6 books I'm finishing in the next 2 years.
Wow.
And part of what's going on is to help not just educate and inspire, but let the people in our country know that you admire Costa, but what are you doing to support the cause? What are you doing to elevate and transform our people? You admire Daniel Charles? No. For me, I told people I write more than I talk now, because that's where I find my inspiration. But if you want to talk, we can talk. Okay. So what we have to do is compete in this global culture and put a respect on our country's name at the very highest level. That's what we have to do.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Folks, if you're just tuning in, Mr. Daniel P. Charles is our guest, and he's published a book which is doing very well. It's been out for how long now? How long?
4 months now. 4 months now.
4 months. And the book is already in 22 countries around the world. The latest being Estonia, of all places, Estonia, which you might never go there, but the book is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this book is beautiful. It's called Managing Inherent Technical Isolation, a strategic approach to streamlining and accelerating leadership and technology development within organizations. Is mostly for IT people, but CEOs and heads of organizations can also use this book to help them synchronize their organizations, I mean, the IT department with the overall organization to make them more efficient and effective and competitive. Gives you a competitive edge. That's why people are using this book as a guide on how to improve and address this issue of having the IT department, isolated from the overall organization, and by synchronizing, bringing the IT department, bringing them, and it just, bring them on board and synchronizing with the entire organization can help you become much more effective. And you can order this book from Amazon, right? It's on Amazon.
Yes. Yeah. I
The
think
book is on
for the
Amazon.
rest of the world is always Amazon, but in the
Yeah.
US, in the
And
US,
for
it's
us
in
students,
so many bookstores.
for students, it's on Check, right?
Check. Yeah, it's on Check. It's
Check, yeah.
it's on AB Books, it's on Alibris, it's on Textbook Direct. It's just, man,
Fantastic.
because that it's yeah,
That's
it's
great.
a lot of places right now.
We're proud of you, my brother. We're very proud of you. Look, so we kudos. The next book is gonna be out when? What's the
Because
title?
the next book, I don't want to call the title right now,
Okay,
but
yeah, you
let
don't
me
have to
just
call it
say
that.
something about it. It's under contract, and once we get all the copywriting finished next month, then I can talk
Okay.
about the title, because people work around here. I mean, this is America, but you still have that thing going
Oh
on. So
yeah,
I
I
like to
agree
talk
with you,
about
my
it.
my,
Yeah,
my
so
brother. So what's the
I
core of it?
protect.
What is it about?
So there's a lot of talk today about artificial intelligence, and people thought that we just transcended human intelligence. So I'm writing a book on the system of human intelligence that are on top that people really haven't understood yet. We talk about 86 billion cells in the brain. In our lifetime, you might not even get to use a fraction of it. So I'm writing a book that lays out the system of human intelligence in a way that for generations to come, we will have to work on these things even before we think about how powerful AI is or everything. We can build all the technology
So
future,
basically,
but
you're basically saying AI will never get to a point where it can eclipse human intelligence.
human intelligence, that's what I'm
Beautiful.
writing about. It's a powerful subject right now.
Yeah,
And I
because they say
mean,
we use
this
what,
one,
less than 10% of our brain power.
yeah, brain power. Okay. And I mean, just we don't even know, right? It was the last research that said we now have 86. Prior to that, we used to believe it was in the 40s, but now they say we have 86 billion neurocells. Think about that. Think about that. So you walking around with this thing right here. This is no joke. This is
Use it wisely.
expandable. This is
Expand.
expandable.
The capacity is
Unbelievable.
it's unbelievable.
So we're writing a book that's going to shake the world, and probably when people read it, it might just be a culture and a way of life, and people will be like, "Damn, this is what I can do. This is what I'm capable of. This is what I can do." That's what's going to come out of that project. So that one is ready. I think it will be published in January. It will be finished in December, but it'll be published in January.
Fantastic. Folks, Daniel P. Charles is our guest. He's a young Liberian. He's an IT professional. Daniel, let's talk about what you do. Of course, you're an IT professional. You write specs. You do all kinds of things. But what's your day job aside from writing these books that are doing like this one, which is sticking off?
Providing IT as a service consultancy now.
Okay.
If I'm not doing that, so whether it's from discussing cloud architecture acquisition or developing enterprise security solutions, or maybe finding a way to build PC life plans and all the crazy stuff. And then lecturing. But the most beautiful part about it is about writing the books. So when you done with all these technical small piece, at the end of the day, what I enjoy watching sport, listening to soulful music and other stuff. But the day's job are just around providing IT as a service consultancy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Mr. Daniel P. Charles, thank you very much for being our guest this morning. We've learned a lot. Our folks are very, very proud of you, and we're rooting for you, especially from Stephen Toba Estate. Keep soaring, my brother. Keep winning. This is fantastic, folks. The book is on Amazon, and what is it selling for?
It's selling for $16.95. But because tell them that, I mean, there's a lot of other people selling it on Amazon with different prices. But if you buy it from Amazon directly, now you can go on Amazon and you'll see there's like about 20 other bookstores. Because when the book is selling, a lot of different companies will buy it and go and sell it right back on Amazon.
Oh, they'll buy and resell it.
Yeah.
Because it's selling like a hot cake.
Yeah, so they will buy it and start reselling it. So if you go on Amazon, you will find maybe 20 different prices. But I'll tell you from Amazon itself.
And how do you find it from Amazon itself so that you buy it for $16.99?
The link, I got the link, Costa. I will send you the link.
Yeah, send me the link. Let me just put it on the send it before we close up.
Let me text you that
so
link right now.
So people can be able to go to that particular link and buy it for $16.99. We're not gonna let our people go buy it from somebody.
Yeah, Costa. When people go on Amazon, let them just buy it directly from Amazon, and then that's better. I mean, I'm not saying snub the other book companies, but they're selling it a bit expensive because they got to make the profit too, based on how
they buy it and then they resell. Of course, they add a little
buy it and
markup.
resell it. But while we in there, Costa, one of the things I wanted to end on here is people don't know sometimes what you do and why you do what you do. And for me, like I've said privately and I'm also saying publicly, I've been proud of you, brother. And the reason why I've been proud of you, I know what it means to stand in the heat line and take all these fire, but stay keeping your head up. I don't like to use the term life is too short because it depends on what your context is. But I say if you give it a good 50 years and inspire the war, if you give it a good 35 years and inspire the war, if you give it a good 75 years, whatever the case may be, I like to use the term maybe life sometimes can be really unpredictable. But the most beautiful thing we could do here is live a life that inspires. You did what you believe, you help transform and improve the quality of people's lives. And you have been an example of what it means to sometimes even stand alone and fight this cause. So, I'm proud of you, brother, and I appreciate you. And I want to encourage you not to say don't stop.
Proud of you. Very, very proud of you, my brother. And
but keep this thing.
You've been in this country for a relatively short period of time compared to people
seven years.
7 years. Just about the same time. You and I moved here just about the same time. I moved here in 2015, thereabouts, 2015. Yeah, I used to come and go. But then, I finally just came. So, I mean, to see what you've done in this very short period of time is just is beyond remarkable. We're extremely proud of you. And we're rooting for you. And from time to time, we're going to bring you on once the next book is published in January. We're going to bring you back on here and do another interview with you. I'm waiting for that link so I can paste it here.
I just texted it to you, Costa.
I have it. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate you doing this today. And like you said, we talk privately. We talk privately a lot, and and most of the times, at least today, for a lot of people, will be like, oh. Man, now we saw you, your man Costa talking. So
don't mind it.
I know all these people be like,
yeah, me and my man Charles, we go way back, way back. He's always had a good head on his shoulders. He's always been driven, results driven, goal driven, ambitious. And my man, America, is a country that allows you to explore, to tap into your potential, to really become that which you want to be and which you can be. And you are
that's true.
An epitome of that. You've done
that's
that.
true.
You epitomize
that.
I mean, Imagine 7 years of your life in this country. Look what you've done. You've written a book that's been sold and read and used in 22 countries and counting in just 4 months of release.
Yeah, and what I'm most proud of, Costa, is I always ask myself, we learn here, but can we contribute to advancing the educational culture? I'm very proud because they will tell my children and great grandchildren from now that, Daddy wrote a book that were taught in schools in this country. I'm very proud of that. That's, I think, even besides the market and all this stuff, that's what I'm proud of.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Brother Donald P. Charles, thank you very much, and you have a blessed day. We'll talk.
Thank you,
we'll
my
talk
brother.
soon.
Okay, brother.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Folks, there you have it. Yes, there are some Liberians that are doing great things. Brother Charles and I, we go way back. And it's not just that we grew up in Stephen Toba Eshe Ghetto, we were friends. And even when I started doing my advocacy at the talk show in 2012, we, from time to time we would connect. We would, try to collaborate on stuff together. And, we were, and he's always been a very, very driven. I mean, some of those young people who they don't have time to mess around. They don't play around. That's Daniel Charles. Daniel Charles has always been goal-driven, always driven. He carries himself respectably. He has an old soul. I mean, he's young, but he acts like he's an old man because he's very driven and very focused, very determined. And look where he's landed, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. What you're seeing here is the beginning of the launch of a rocket. That's what he is. And I'm very proud of my brother. Very, very proud of him. And I told him the other day, look, my man, come on the show. I got to get the people to hear what you're doing. And then, so today, tens of thousands of people have already heard it. Many thousands more will watch these videos and all of that. And you see, so brilliant young man. Went to the University of Liberia at some point in time. I believe he was chairman or the leader of SOUP. Yeah, he was. And, he was an activist, and look at what he is now. He's a technical person. That's why I ask him what happened, what led to that transition, to that, not transition, but that switch, to a different person today. Consummate, career-driven, ambitious, goal-driven, determined, focused, technical mind. Brilliant technical mind. That's what Daniel Charles is. I'm very proud of him. And his father, he comes from a great family. His father is a judge. Mr. Daniel P. Charles Sr. Wonderful family. His sister, one of his sisters, by the way, his elder sister, Helen. She works in a bank. So great. Yeah, he was a leader of SIM. Yeah. The Student Integration Movement, SIM. Thank you, Prince Fokpa, and thank you very much. Yeah, he was actually the leader of SIM. Yeah, and look at him now, from the leader of SIM to the writer of a book, that's been read and used in 22 countries around the world in just 4 months of release. 4 months, and it's selling a hot cake. Thank you so much, folks. God bless you all, and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself that you can do whatever you set your mind to and stay focused and continue to strive to make yourself better. That is what I try to do every day. That's what the likes of Daniel Charles do every day. You can become like Daniel Charles. You can believe in yourself when you come to this country. Never settle for small. Tell yourself, this job that I'm in now is temporary. I want to do something bigger. I want to do something better. Never become complacent. Never settle for small. Rid your mind of mediocrity. Anybody who keeps telling you you cannot make it, you cannot succeed, stay away from them. Stay away from them. Associate with people who believe you can be whatever you set your mind to. That is what you must do. There's a poem here written by a guy called Avin Lee. It's a beautiful poem. It's called A Viable Man. Let me see what I can find. I read this poem a great many years ago. Yeah. My uncle Jeremiah Walker had this poem written down somewhere. A Viable Man. It's a beautiful poem. We'll try to see what I can find to read it for you before we end the show this morning. It's a beautiful poem by Arvin Lee, A Viable Man. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's a very, very fine piece of poetry. Yep, I'm trying to find it. Oh man, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. I need to find this poem. It's by Arvin Lee, R-R-V-R-N-G-L-E-E. It's called The Viable Man. It's a beautiful poem. I need you to read this poem. Viable Man. I'm getting old now, you know. I'm getting old now. So you see, we are forgetting things. I used to know it by heart. Thank you so much. God bless you. Okay, I have the link here from Brother Charles. I have to post it here. So you go right ahead. Let me just put the managing. I don't know, for some reason I don't see the link. Managing inherent technical isolation. Yeah, that's the title of the book, and here is his name, Daniel P. Charles. That's it. All right, that is it right here. This is the title of the book. It's pinned at the bottom of the page. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.